One's ready. One's ready. Go! So you guys are going into Special Warfare Assessment Selection. It is an attributes-based selection model. What does that mean?
Guys, are we running right now to get fitter? Are we practicing running? Practicing.
I can't freaking...
So there's a holistic picture that we're looking for. The instructors are giving you input, and we're expecting an output. And everything is for a reason. If you guys haven't heard my spiel yet, everything that we do, every single exercise, has a connection to the job that you're trying to do. We don't want people at INDOC, Special Warfare Assessment Selection, whatever they're gonna call the new course when it inevitably changes somewhere down the road. I don't care what they call it. What I need is you to show me the raw materials for the things that I wanna build you into. Just like everything else, it's a crawl, walk, run.
I can run a keystone just like this. All the way to ATC, you never quit. All the way to ATC, you never quit.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the One's Ready podcast. This is your daily drop for 16 July. I'll mention again, and I'm going to keep mentioning it just so that, to make sure we don't miss anybody, but October 25th and 26th is the Nashville Operator Training Summit. It's our next event. We will have additional ones scheduled, but if you want to join us over there, shoot me an email at jared@onesready.com and we'll get you all the details over there. You can expect 1 day on land doing running, rucking, calisthenics, grass and gorilla drills, formation running, mobility, all that kind of good stuff. We'll have Guardian Grid out there. We're going to have Taylor Starch out there. And then the second day is going to be all day long in the pool. So you can expect 10 to 12 hours in the pool to get your mind right. All right. Joint news. Barracks renovation at Andersen Air Force Base. Damaged barracks at Andersen Air Force Base in Guam, plagued by mold, water damage, and corroded plumbing. And also exposed wiring, will undergo a $300 million renovation under the United States Navy. Contract awarded to Global Pacific Design Builders. Vice Admiral Scott Gray described conditions as outside reasonable standards. Navy Secretary John Pilon expressed shock, initially believing the buildings were condemned. Surprise, they are not condemned. But this is not just the Navy. Like, this happens all over the place. And it's because military construction on buildings, one, takes a long time. Two, it's super expensive because it's inflated, because the contractors will inflate their prices so that, because they know the government's going to pay. I mean, that's really what it is. Imagine if you had to get like a 3,000 square foot house, if you were to make a house out in like 3,000 square foot, and I know it depends on where you're at, but just say it's under $1 million, right? Because it's probably going to be under $1 million. But you do a military construction building on a military base that's 3,000 square feet, and that's going to cost you $20 million. That might be a little high. Maybe $10 to $12 million. And that's what I mean by, because, the inflation and all that kind of stuff, because they put, one, they know the government's going to pay for it. Two is there's so many bureaucratic regulations and all that kind of stuff that they have to follow. It's crazy. Next, Transcom enhances cyber information operations. Cyber officials at the United States Air Force, or United States Transportation Command, Transcom, are coordinating information operations to counter digital threats from adversaries like China, Russia, and Iran. Colonel Michael McFeeters emphasized integrating traditionally siloed elements for innovation, intel-driven responses. Transcom is also collaborating with other combatant commands for defensive and offensive operations. Cool. Lockheed clears F-35 backlog. Lockheed Martin has delivered F-35 Joint Strike Fighters delayed. Fighters delayed by... Oh, they were... got it. I understand now. They were delayed because of software upgrade issues. The F-35 JPO, or Joint Program Office, withheld $5 million per jet pending full technology refresh, or TR3 completion. Though Progress released $3 million per aircraft, JPO remains focused on delivering TR3 combat capabilities in 2025, with many new features expected this year and beyond. Good, I'm glad we got that backlog cleared up. Challenges in fielding U.S. drones highlighted in Alaskan exercise. A Defense Innovation Unit drone exercise near Eielson Air Force Base in Alaska tested commercial drones in contested electronic warfare environments, revealing industry readiness gaps. Project leader Trent Ehrmanaker stressed the urgent need to advance uncrewed systems, noting the U.S. lags behind. Military services hesitate to allocate resources for non-customized drones despite rapid contract execution. See, I don't understand that, because there are so many COTS, commercial off-the-shelf solutions out there, that I don't understand why the military services are hesitant. I don't get it. I don't know if it's ignorance or what. It's got to be, right? All right. 2024 U.S. military operations caused limited civilian casualties. U.S. military operations in Southwest Asia in 2024 resulted in 2 civilian deaths and 2 injuries, according to the Department of Defense report to Congress. Combined Joint Task Force Operation Inherent Resolve contacted affected families to offer condolences. DoD has reported on civilian casualties annually since 2018 National Defense Authorization Act. Next, partial withdrawal of National Guard from Los Angeles. Half of the 4,000 California National Guard troops deployed to LA on federal orders to protect federal buildings and immigration customs enforcement agents will return home. Pentagon officials cited subsiding lawlessness as the reason for the drawdown. California Governor Gavin Newsom criticized the remaining forces as lacking mission or direction. Of course he did. Pentagon withdraws from Aspen Security Conference. The DoD withdrew senior representatives from the Aspen Security Conference, citing its promotion of globalism, disdain for the U.S., and opposition to the president. Attendees included former officials like Condoleezza Rice, Bob Gates, and Jake Sullivan. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth separately asserted at a rally that DoD avoids politics. Next. Pacific Amphibious Leader Symposium 2025. The U.S. Marine Corps, Pacific, and the Philippine Marine Corps co-hosted the 2025 Pacific Amphibious Leader Symposium in Manila. Sorry, there was a glare on the phone. In Manila from 8 to 10 July. The event brought together experts and leaders to foster collaboration among allied and partner nations in the Indo-Pacific region. It emphasized amphibious operations and regional security partners. All right, next. B-52 deployment to Guam. A B-52 from Minot Air Force Base, North Dakota, arrived at Andersen Air Force Base in Guam on the 8th of July. The deployment supports ongoing operations to Indo-Pacific region. Aviation crews participated in the routine training activities. Why that made the news, I have no idea. Next, Hegseth welcomes Netanyahu. We covered that yesterday. We don't need to rehack that. All right, Air Force news. The House blocks cancellation of the E-7 Wedgetail program. The House of Representatives advanced measures to preserve the U.S. Air Force E-7 Wedgetail Airborne Early Warning Program. The House Rules Committee FY26 NDAA prohibits DoD from using funds to terminate the contract. Representative Donald Norcross introduced a supportive amendment during the committee markup. There's a lot of people that are going to be happy about that. The KC-46 boom damage leads to emergency landing. Photos revealed shredded boom damage on a KC-46 tanker following a mishap on the 8th of July, prompting an emergency landing. The incident occurred during operations. Investigations are underway to assess causes and preventative measures. What they didn't say is what aircraft it was refueling with. I did hear something about this, but I don't remember what the aircraft type was. All right, next, RE4PAC 2025 exercise launched. U.S. Air Force and multinational partners launched Resolute Force Pacific 2025 on July 8th. The service's largest Pacific contingency exercise, involving over 300 aircraft that focuses on rapid deployment and operations in contested environments. The exercise enhances interoperability and readiness across Indo-Pacific. Next, updated uniform guidance issued. We talked about this already, but there's a new AFI 362903 that is all the dress and appearance. It's talking about taking off eyelash extensions. Boots have got to be, I think, no less than 8 inches. Something like that. I don't, and there was one more big change too, but I don't remember it. All right. Space Force news. House pushes funding for TACSRT program. That is TACSRT. House lawmakers urged Space Force to fund the Tactical Surveillance, Reconnaissance, and Tracking Program in FY26. The House Armed Services Committee allocated $30 million in its draft NDAA and directed it as a program of record. The Chief of Space Operations, General Chance Saltzman, testified in support of the initiative. U.S. space power fragility in multipolar world. U.S. space power faces vulnerabilities from bureaucratic rigidity and outdated models as more nations advance their capabilities. Risks include falling behind agile middle powers due to centralized ecosystems and cost overruns. Washington should foster flexibility or flexible networks and threat partners as assets to avoid isolation in space competition. All right, next, international partnership strategy unveiled. Space Force released its inaugural international partnership strategy on July 8th to deepen alliances and promote responsible space behavior. The strategy outlines a vision for collaborative security in space. It emphasizes shared norms and joint capabilities to enhance domain stability. Next, Resolute Space 2025 exercise begins. Over 700 Guardians commence Resolute Space 2025 on July 8th. Yeah, whatever. I think we talked about that yesterday. Next, German court dismisses, these are of interest, by the way. German court dismisses complaint on U.S. drone strikes in Yemen. A German court rejected a complaint alleging Germany's complicity in the U.S. airstrikes that killed 2 civilians during a meeting with a suspected al-Qaeda member in Yemen. Complainants argued the strikes violated international law, holding Germany partially responsible. The ruling found no basis for the claims. All right, last but not least, Japan identifies China as a top strategic threat. Yeah, no shit. Japan's Defense Ministry report labeled China's rapid military expansion as its greatest strategic challenge amid growing China-Russia ties, Taiwan tensions, and North Korean threats. The international community faces post-World War II crisis, per the document. China's foreign ministry protested, defending its activities as legitimate. Yeah, you'd got to be worried about that, just like the U.S. is worried about it, but especially Japan being in the region and seeing this monster that doesn't follow anybody's rules but their own, just expanding and growing and strengthening and stealing American and Japanese technology and revamping it and making their own. Now, it's not as good, but still, it is like, yeah, their RF-35 is way better than their J-20 or whatever it is, right? But when you have one F-35 and you have, you know, a ratio of one F-35 to 10 J-20s, like that's what's going to, those J-20s are going to wreck an F-35 with those kind of numbers. You know what I mean? And those are the kind of numbers that China is getting after. Now, they're not there yet, but that's what they're trying to do, and they're getting after it. So Japan has that is a credible threat for sure. All right, everybody, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we do appreciate you being here. For the members out there, I'm going to try and get something out to you Thursday or Friday. So sorry for the delay. Really am. All right, later. See you.